Let me talk to you about one, for example. It says, Matthew 7:21-27. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven. Wow. Strong. But only the one who does the will of the Father who is in heaven. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name? In your name we drive out demons, and in your name we perform many miracles? Then I will tell them plainly, I never knew you. Away from me, you evildoers. Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who builds his house on the rock. The rain came down, the street rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house. Yet it did not fall, because it has its foundation on the rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built, listen, his house on the sand. And you know what is continuing. The damage came. Whoever hears my words, my friend, God gave us boundaries so we don't get hurt. And talking about sports, so we can live life and enjoy life. What are you trying to say? If there were no boundaries, listen, sooner or later, joy will disappear from this earth. Boundaries exist so we can enjoy the freedom that we possess. Okay, you confusing me. If they give me the boundaries, they restricted me. No! Pay attention! If they give you boundaries, then they really teach you how to enjoy the real freedom. Let me try to explain in a simple way about sports. It is the rules and boundaries, my friends, in any sport that brings excitement to any game. Let's talk about football. You know, there is rules behind, right? What's the rule? Well, the quarterback has 4 opportunities to advance 10 yards, to make a goal. Yes, no. And then he has to get the ball, throw the ball. But if he don't follow the rules, and you just see 20 guys, actually 22, going from one place to another place, trying to kill each other with the ball. Fumble, the next one, fumble, pass. And there are the rules, and kick the ball. It will be fun in it? No. It's like playing tennis. You don't understand the rules? That's why I don't like to play with my family tennis. When we want to play tennis, we were talking today in the morning about my wife and playing, she likes to play tennis. But I don't like to play tennis too much with my wife, because my wife just grabbed the ball and she want to kill the ball and me go and get the ball all the way over there. She doesn't know that the ball has to hit inside the lines. Inside the lines. Then Jonathan grabs the racket and he thinks he's playing baseball. The harder he hit, the stronger he feels. It's not fun to play tennis like that. Why? Because they're not following what? They're not following what? The rules. Some of you cannot enjoy life because you're not following rules. You're breaking all the rules when nobody's supervising you. But you need to understand that the Spirit of God is always there. How can you convince me that boundaries are for our own good? Very simple. You want me that I show it to you? It is very, very simple. James, can you come, please? Jump. Go under. Run, James, run. It's today, man. Thank you. Why are you pressing my back? Go back and go under the boundary. Okay, go under the boundary. Thank you, James. How you doing, James? James, don't cross the caution tape. It's dangerous. Now you're going to become a little kid that is testing the limits. Can you do that now? Please don't. No. You saw what I did? No, James. I say don't cross it because he doesn't feel pain right now. Are you with it? He's playing with it. No, James. James. No. You're gonna get hurt. It's for your own good. Okay? See, I want to stay here, okay, James. I know you want to feel cool like everybody else, James, but you cannot cross the line. Okay? I don't want to give you discipline. Are you with me? Are you with me? Why God is there? Because you don't know how to respect what? The limits. You live without limits. Don't cross the boundary. Let me continue with teaching. You see, even so, in the Christian life, God's commandments are given for our own good. We humans want to break it every time we can. Because it's in our nature. Say it, it's in our nature. See, in nature, you want to break, you want to, no, James. You know what happened? What God does, can you pass me the caution tape? Right away. Not you. Stay with me here. Run, run. Why did you cross my boundaries? Huh? Okay. Over there. Say, you help me. Late. We're in the TV. Alright? Now look at the top of the TV. Right there. What God does in love to us, He gave us, listen, even more big, what? Yeah, put them over there. Yeah, put them over there. Thank you. And the top of it. Right there. Got it. No, up. Get it up. Okay, take it. And the top. Pull it. Fast, man, you're not going. That's it. See, what God does, if I understand Him, He's trying to help us for our own good. Are you with me? And He's going to reinforce. Okay. Well, imagine that is very high, okay? God is still going to give us a new boundary for our good. It's not another rule. You can enjoy all this. Play all over the place. Have fun. Just don't get close. It's for your own good. Enjoy. And you see, He gets bored of that. And the only thing that attracts Him is to cross what? To cross, no, James. Do you have a kid like that? Or you had a kid like that? Yes or no? My son Jonathan, one time, we had to give him Papa 4 times in the same day. Because he was trying to cross the limits. And we have to teach him that it was for his own good. You see, James is trying. And you need to understand that if you don't pay attention, you know what else I understand about God? You know what God does now? I know. He does it, and then what God does is, He says, you know what? You want to die? That's what He does. You're going to give Him the plans. You think I'm playing? I'm not playing. I said to you, Adam, don't eat that. I give you the freedom to enjoy everything, but don't eat that. But Adam chose to cross the limits. Actually, it was a woman. Oh, it was a woman. No, I'm just kidding. It was a woman and the man that crossed the limits. Am I right? Is that when you tell the woman you can only spend $50? That's it. But she crossed to 55. Because it was a good sale, honey. We don't need it. And she still wanted to use the 55. If we cross our limits, we're going to hurt ourselves. But here's the damage. Not only us, the next generations to come. When Adam and Eve crossed their limits, did God stop loving them? I'm asking yes or no? No. He right away did something to clothe them. Remember? And He right away tried to guide them. But there was consequences. There was what? And He said to him, I love you, son. But in love for the next people that is going to come in this world from you. In love to Lolita. In love to Alberto. In love to Maria. I cannot let you stay. Please get this. In love to the next people. I cannot let you stay in the garden. you have to pay the consequences. Because there's going to come another generation, and if they don't learn consequences, they will never enjoy my freedom. It's all about the freedom, my friends. It's all about the freedom that Jesus wants to give you. God gave us boundaries to keep us safe and remove confusion from our life. How confused would it be to play a game without rules? How confused would it be to play a game without, without a referee over there? How confused would it be that? Is that boxing? Was kickboxing? Was taekwondo? Was judo? What the heck are they doing over there? You don't know. There is no referee. What is that in there? Without rules and boundaries, your life will be in constant chaos. How many of you say, you know, Pastor, my life is in chaos? Don't pick up your hand. You know what you need? Rules. You need boundaries. How many of you see your family members going into chaos constantly? Family don't know God, and they go from one chaos to another chaos. You know, the problem with the daughter, not only with the problem with the daughter, not with a financial problem, not another financial problem, now is the problem with the cousin. How many of you know what I'm talking about? They go from chaos to chaos. How many of you know what I'm talking about? Why? Because they don't want to follow rules. They have lived a life without limits. I'm about to finish now. Yeah, you're right. You want to get out of here as soon as you can. God, my friend, has set boundaries for our own good. When you know the boundaries, when you practice them, you enjoy a fun-filled life. When you know and practice boundaries, you enjoy freedom and security. Look at what Jesus said in John 8:31. He said to the Jews who had believed him, Jesus said, if you hold to my teaching, you are really my disciples. Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. How many of you want to see freedom in your two people in the rest of life? At what time to finish? How many of you want to be set free constantly by the presence of God? Then you need to follow His limits. He's in charge, not you. He's in charge, not me. He's in charge, not he. Not him. Amen? You can choose to stay within the boundaries or go outside the boundaries. Freedom defines law. Whether it's in a relationship to God or others, if you take away the freedom, you take away love. What do you mean? You have to love me, man. But if not, I'm not going to pay you. And it's no freedom. Are you with me? I don't pay. But he still chooses to love. Do you understand? Then he can enjoy. She can enjoy what? The freedom. The love, the truly love that comes with freedom. It's only when you are free to choose and disagree that you are free to love. Again, when you live without freedom, my friends, you live in fear and love dies. It is possible to live without boundaries. The devil will try. Listen, I'm about to finish. Pay attention. It's possible, Pastor Tony, to live without boundaries. The devil would try to fool you into thinking that living without boundaries is the best way into freedom. It's not what the young people once they turn 18, right? What do they say? I'm 18! I'm out of the house! Yes or no? I don't have to live with the boundaries of my mom and my dad! And they go and live la vida loca. And they realize that some boundaries were for their own what? And now they say, I miss my mommy. Boundaries are for our good. They are in every relation. And if you cross them, you will damage the relation. You may say the 10 Commandments are not relevant today. God gave us commandments. Well, they're not relevant today, Pastor Tony. Third Turner, owner of CNN, New Network, and TBS Television, said in a speech, the 10 Commandments are out of date. He offered to replace the 10 Commandments with his own version, which he called them the 10 voluntary initiatives. They're not going to be called today the 10 Commandments. He says, let's say on TV, the 10 voluntary initiatives. Are they voluntary for us? Yes or no? No. They're commandments. And the moment society walks out of that, the damage will infiltrate. What are you saying? Well, he's saying not to kill. Right? Right? So, let's even be living without boundaries. Right? Yeah. Give me the gun. Pop, pop. And then, let me keep enjoying life. Why? There's no rules. I'm not going to go to jail. So now it's not fun for him when there is no boundaries. Why? Because now he's dead. Are you with me? See, boundaries are for our own protection. And I know when I went back, man, it was to wake up the old lady, it was whatever. See, boundaries are for our own good. They're there to protect us, to really enjoy freedom. How many of you can walk today in little places with freedom? I mean, this is a bad thing to say here in Brooklyn, right? What do you almost can never walk with freedom in this place? But the bottom line is, it is true. It has become better. How many of you can walk with freedom? Maybe in some malls, in some places, knowing nothing bad is going to happen to you. Yes or no? Why? The security is there, and people have to what? Submit to the boundaries of not to respect other people around. Are you getting this? What I'm talking about? Are you getting this? See, I can enjoy my freedom in the mall because there is cops supervising that all of us we don't cross what? The boundary. So I'm here to say, every boundary that God is giving to you, and it's not only about the 10 Commandments. How many of you know that the best boundaries that God is speaking, He speaks to us in our hearts? Yes or no? Yes or no? He speaks to your heart. He says, hey, shh, don't do that. Hey, shh, don't make that decision. Hey, don't do this. Yes or no? Yeah. So breaking outside of boundaries can be dangerous. I heard about a little dog called Brownie. He was always trying to get out of the fence. Always trying to get out of the fence that they create for him. He was like trying to jump. He was trying to go under. He was trying because he was so attracted to him. Across the street, he was so attracted to him. Some of the things that were going on, kids and balls playing in the park, and he wanted to cross this dog called Brownie. He was always trying to cross. And then one day, the owner saw, it was a little kid, he saw, the dog trying to go. So the kid, not understanding life and boundaries, he said, oh my poor Brownie, and he opened the door. So Brownie went out. But he was not paying attention to the street. And then a truck was coming and killed Brownie. Did you just hear what I said? The kid opened the thing, and the Brownie became milkshake. That's nasty. He died. The dog's desire for freedom cost him his life. You hear what I said? The dog's desire for freedom cost him his life. My friends, be careful that you're not seeking for a freedom that doesn't come from God. Are you learning today? There are limits for our own benefit. I seriously finished with this. If you remember in the Titanic story, how many of you remember the Titanic story? Many people died. Did I say it right? Many people died. How many know the story? Many people died. the Titanic story. All right, you remember. Many people died. Many years later, they found that USA Today reported that the damage that caused the big boat to sink, the city that was floating, the cost to sink, was 6 relative narrow slits. 6 simple narrow slits in the bottom of the boat. It's often, my friends, the little, seeming insignificant things, like the small compromises, little white lies, and not telling the whole truth, that it was going to cost the integrity of people and cause them to fall. It's the little things. It's the little tiny things that nobody's paying attention. We know the story about the Bible of Samson. You know the story, tell us the Bible. We're telling us the story of Samson. He was separated from birth to become a Nazarene. Got gifted with a tremendous gift. A gift that it was going to be unique. But it was given to him a gift to be strong. But to, if you allow me to say this, to destroy the enemies of God's people, the Philistines. The story says that he grew up, and at the beginning, he was obeying his mother. But later, the Word of God teaches that he has become distracted with the woman. It was the little things. He had distracted with the Philistines. And instead of destroying the Philistines and push them out, he crossed boundaries. And he started to negotiate. Be careful when you cross some boundaries and you start to negotiate your own convictions that you no longer feel is wrong. What I'm talking about? I'm talking about when you used to see a movie before, you come out of the encounter and you saw a movie and you were like, oh no, that's sinful. And now it has passed your encounter with God, and now you don't even remember. And now you see a movie that used to affect you, and now it means absolutely nothing in your heart. What that means? You have negotiated your convictions. You have crossed boundaries you were not supposed to cross. The story says that later, negotiating his boundaries, after a whole story in the middle, he married a girl called Lara. She was a Philistine, but she was a wicked woman. She took from him the secret of cutting his hair, because God was with him. Listen, it was not the hair necessarily. It was that God was with him. But the moment he told this, they cut his hair, and the strength abandoned him. But the strength abandoned him because he had no hair? No. Because he was willing to say something that was supposed to be kept in secret. He crossed the boundary, and they took his eyes for him. Many of you got no vision no more in Christianity. You don't know what to do in your life. You don't know what to accomplish in this earth. The enemy has taken your eyes, your spiritual eyes, and you don't know where to do what to do. Because you no longer see what God has for you. How did that happen? Very simple. You have allowed yourself. You know what? I don't allow myself. Nobody has to come. Look, I'm big enough. Right? I'm big. Nobody's going to tell me don't do that. But I don't allow myself. I have created boundaries for myself in my own benefit. What are you saying? That you're not only following the commandments of God, you even create your own boundaries? Yes, I do. Because I know I know my own weakness. I know my kryptonite. Come on, you're going to give a hand up to God. I know my own kryptonite. What I'm I was one in pain and with no freedom. And the feeling in my heart, it was almost to feel dead and lying. And I said to myself, I will no longer be in that miserable condition of depression and disappointment. I will create myself with boundaries around me. Nobody has to tell me. I know what is doing right for me. Nobody has to pressure me. See, maturity comes when we don't have to tell you, don't do that. Maturity comes when you say you're wrong. I'm never going to do that again. Maturity is not when we have to tell you, don't press that, don't do that because of this. It's when you take it upon yourself and say, nobody has to tell me. I'm going to be who I need to be for the Jesus that I serve, for the King that I serve. I have to boundaries around me for my own benefit. You want to enjoy freedom? You want to enjoy the joy of the Lord? You need to respect boundaries. So today, I don't want that you think that God created boundaries do not give us freedom. It's quite the opposite. I'm not also, I'm not also saying that you have to live like this. Hold this in my mind, right? Somebody else coming also. Run, somebody. Okay? See, we're not saying there are boundaries now. Can you make a mummy for him? Oh, go ahead, make a mummy. Yeah. Just try to go mummy on him, right? All over the place, all over the place. See, this is not exactly what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say that you have to become a mummy of boundaries, that you cannot move, that you cannot do something, that you cannot enjoy life, or you cannot learn. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about understanding there are boundaries for our own good. Remember his mouth. He needs to stop talking, some stuff that he has talking. His eyes too, because sometimes he sees things that he's not supposed to be seeing, alright? And then put him in, also in the bottom, please, in the bottom, his legs, because he needs to stop, doing his, okay. That was your own thing, brother. Okay, only in New York you get the stuff like that. Only in this place I can get by. Alright? This is great. Go in the bottom. Make his feet, right? Alright, this is good. Man, he has a wide legs, man. You need to get some sun once in a while. Alright? Okay, now, see, stay there. Look at me. I'm not talking that you live a life ripped with boundaries. No. Christianity is not about this. It's quite the opposite. Jesus died on the cross so we can see now, so we can have freedom, so we can enjoy His life. You see, the truth is that the enemy is the one that has to give us boundaries of legalism, boundaries of depression, boundaries of many things that this life gives us. But it was Jesus the one that set us free. I'm not saying, hey, you have to have a boundary like this and live like a mummy. Oh, I cannot do that. You know what? That's your choice. I do everything. I just don't let my freedom become a stumbling stone in the eyes of a weak one. I don't let nothing of my convictions become harm in the process of enjoying life. But I don't live like a mummy. Someone. Actually, he's a very sexy mummy. God doesn't want this for you. This is not what I was talking about today. This is not. I was talking about don't get hurt. I'm sorry. What's going on, honey? Tell me, princess, what's going on? What happened? This guy, Taquan. What happened with Taquan? What happened with him? I know I was supposed to go out with him, but I went with him anyways. I crossed the line. He doesn't even want to see me. Okay, who crossed the line with Taquan? Are you with him? Set out your own limits. You know what is right. You hear the voice of God. You don't want to cry? That's the reason God will give you limits. So you don't come back with your heart hurt because somebody hurt your heart. You need to stay connected with God, understanding that God is with you and you want the very best for you. Actually, what God did, it was great. You allow me to break? Actually, what God did, they don't hurt me. Amen? It was to break all the boundary and to set you free. That's what Jesus did. Leave it over there. Leave all the boundaries here. And you guys can go now and enjoy. Hey, don't take the whole world, okay? Come on, give them a hand up right now. It's not getting better than this. You choose what kind of life you live. Oh, life is tough. It's not tough. You're just dumb. You call me dumb. Wait a second. You're just very dumb. It's not nice. You keep hurting yourself. You keep bringing pain to your loved ones because you think you are the exception. Samson thought, I am the exception. Let me say this very clearly. None of us are the exception. Amen? None of us. There are not the 10 voluntary initiatives. No. God created them for our own good. Amen? So we can enjoy freedom. Today, I'm going to go out of here in freedom. I'm not going to be afraid of nothing. Why? Because there's a law in New York City. There are boundaries that protect me. That's what you have to understand. They're there to protect you. If you cross them, you're going to receive power. If not, as Natalie went out. She crossed the boundary because she thinks she can do that. If I'm a good father, I'm not going to let her do it. Because if I let her cross the boundaries today, once she becomes 16 or 17, what's going to happen? She's going to cross boundaries all over this society and become a pain to this society. That's why we do what we do. Please understand. Stand on your feet.